I'm curious your take on Donald Trump unilaterally surrendering Ukraine to Russia. What the hell is going on here, sir?
You know, it's not even a daily or sometimes even an hourly occurrence of something that Donald Trump does that doesn't make sense. And this is one more of those. You know, to do what he's doing is giving, first of all, he's caving in to Russia, which is not exactly, the friendliest country to the United States. Second, he's telling Europe that, we may not be there should you be ever in trouble. And I think he's, really bargaining from a position of weakness right now. But it's on top of all the other stuff. I literally just left a press conference we had over at the state capitol in Madison, Wisconsin, with, literally dozens and dozens of Democratic state legislators who are all talking about, all the cuts that are happening as well, or potential cuts through this reconciliation bill that now they've said we're going to take up in the House next week. So there's just so much happening. I think the most important thing, though, Tom, and I'm going to stress this, and I'll probably say it too many times during the program today, this is most everything that Donald Trump's been doing, especially around the reconciliation bill and the cuts, is all about a giant transfer of wealth from the middle class and those aspiring to be to the wealthiest through the tax cut, the $4.5 trillion minimum that they need for the next 10 years. So the $1.5 trillion in cuts that are going to affect Medicaid and the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program and school funding and so much more, veterans programs, that's a part of it. But this is a giant transfer of wealth that it's been their goal all the time. It's not about waste, fraud, and abuse. And I just think we got to repeat that over and over and over again so that people really understand.
I get that, but I believe it's something much greater than that. Elon Musk started visiting Russia right after Putin became president. He first went in 2001, then he went back in 2002. Jim Stewartson's got over at mind-war.com has all the contacts. He's been talking to Putin for the last couple of years. He's interrupted Starlink service to Ukraine on behalf of Putin asked him to not offer Starlink to Taiwan as a favor to President Xi. Apparently, he has ceded to that. And now he is taking apart the American government. I could see Vladimir Putin, if he owns Donald Trump, and I believe he does, not only saying, I'm going to keep Ukraine and screw you, and you're going to pull out of Europe because that's next on my menu, but also saying to Donald Trump, these Democrats, they're just laughing at you. They're spending all this money. They're doing all this stuff. Your government is all bloated. I mean, why don't you have my friend Elon Musk come in and just destroy the American government? It looks to me like our country is under assault, like this is war. And the war is being waged against us by Elon Musk, Donald Trump, and Vladimir Putin. What say you, sir?
Yeah, I definitely think this is the wealthiest in this country trying to get what they think is their share, right? They're fighting to get this tax cut. That'll, it's 10 years worth of tax cuts. This is huge money to Elon Musk. And why do you think he does this with Russia or China, right? It's all about money. This is for him to enrich himself. But, we watch Mark Zuckerberg roll over and get his belly rubbed. We're watching Jeff Bezos do a lot of things like that as well. This is about the wealthiest ripping off, a Republican ripoff of taxpayers to get programs that help the middle class and those aspiring to be in the middle class and directly transfers that wealth to the wealthiest. So that's what reconciliation's about. But it's, the fraud is that it's about waste, fraud, and abuse. I mean, in reality, it's about getting this money so that they can profit off of it. And Elon Musk will use whoever to do that. And I'm sure Vladimir Putin is certainly willing to use Donald Trump also to his goals. At the end of the day, the buffoon, the person who is not getting it all, but will at least get a tax cut out of it, is Donald Trump.
Yeah, no, I get all that, but J.D. Vance is a follower of Curtis Yarvin. Curtis Yarvin has, apparently as is Musk. I can't confirm that, but, Yarvin is like the guru to a lot of these tech bros, these billionaire tech bros, and his position is that democracy has failed. That democracy is a failed system, that democracy needs to be abandoned, that we need to have a technocracy, that we should replace most of our government institutions with AI programs that will decide who appropriately gets Social Security, how much Medicare gets paid out, all these other things it looks to me like that's what they're executing. Let's destroy America. Let's tear down this democratic system. Let's replace it with something that is far more autocratic. Trump is also pursuing the same plans that both Putin and Orban did when they first came into power, Orban in 2010 and Putin in 2001, which is, suing the media, trying to put the media out of business, intimidating the media. Now you've got the head of the FCC, Brennan Carr, is opening an investigation, maybe even a criminal investigation into NPR, for God's sake. I mean, these people are playing for keeps. They are trying to destroy our country, Congressman.
Yeah, and the good news, and there is some good news, is that we do have a legal system that right now is helping to push back. But elections have consequences, right? We don't have the House. We don't have the Senate. We don't have the executive branch. So we need that litigation. We need the groups that are doing that litigation. And then we need to get this information out there, Tom. And, that's why we just talked with people who, receive Medicaid and what they're worried about. It means if someone who's with a disability can't live in their home, the quality of life. We just talked to a veteran who's seeing the firings at the VA hospital across the country. And we just did the PACT Act so that more veterans could get health care. We already have a staff shortage. And if you take away more people, more veterans will bluntly die if they don't have access to health care. We just had a teacher talking about the cuts to Title I and IDEA funding, because there's, I think, a $330 billion cut out of the reconciliation bill targeted towards the Department of Education. Well, not only does that mean fewer teachers and bigger class sizes, but it means a shift to local property taxes. So now you're going to get screwed by your local taxes. You're going to pay more so that these wealthy folks get the tax break as well. There's a lot that we need to address on this, but I think really for me, I think that keeping it to what they're up to with this tax cut, because it is so imminent. Next week is likely a vote in the House on reconciliation, I think is what we need people, while members are home this week, they need to hear from people who live in their district about this.
I prefer calling it treason, frankly. I think they are destroying this country that our founders had this vision for of a democratic republic. I get what you're saying, but and Trump just filed a motion this morning or yesterday afternoon, I guess, with a federal judge saying, this is the judge, forgive me, I'm forgetting his name, who said you must put funding to USAID and National Institutes of Health back into place. And Trump just said, no, we're going to ignore your order.
Yeah, and that's
in a filing.
Yeah, and that's one
we're
of the
destroying the American government.
Yeah, is dealing with that. No question. However, I truly believe fundamentally this is about oligarchs wanting to get richer, the richest in this country. And that's what Donald Trump's always been about. It's always been about himself and his family and the people who can afford to go to Mar-a-Lago. Elon Musk clearly is just someone who wants to enrich himself. I don't want to keep my eye off of that prize.
No, I get that. And then Putin made himself the richest man in the world. I mean, he built $1 billion dacha down in,
You can do it, right, in government. And Donald Trump is trying to continue that process. But at the same time, when this reconciliation bill moves, and if we really see this level of cuts coming through, by the time the average Republican who voted for Trump, who didn't expect this, they've been on the menu the whole time, it's going to be too late.